it going today? It's the last day of chopping here for us this year, hopefully. By the looks of it, I think they should get this field finished up today. Just wanted to come out here and look at this field. So this is a field we haven't harvested corn off before. Friends of ours recently purchased this ground. They're growing some feed for us here. Wanted to look at the corn here, see how it looks. So this corn's not extremely tall, but there's some decent sized ears on it here where it's good. This field's got a lot of variability in it here. It's got a lot of variability in it here. In some spots the corn looks fairly decent. In some spots it's barely waist high. They got this corn planted kind of late, so it's a pretty short day corn, but should make okay feed for the cows. We'll see. I did pull a sample of this. We'll send it off and see what it looks like. It's still green where I am standing here right at the moment, but if you look down there, that's a little browner and not quite as good over there either. This field needs a little bit of work. Needs some rock picking, clean up some of these sloughs a little bit, and it needs some organic matter. So they interseeded some wheat and some across this field here, and didn't terminate it everywhere just to get some organic matter in this ground. This ground was extremely soft this spring when we were getting it planted. So because it's so soft, we've been using just tractors over here with the trailers. So Jason's got 4 of them running, and then we hooked our dump wagon up to our tractor just to help out. Because we're about 4.5 miles from our driveway to the access to this field here, just so we could keep up with the chopper. I'm hoping they'll be able to finish this up here in the next 2-3 hours. It's about 2 o'clock now, and we're planning to put plastic on the rest of the pile here at 6. Or if they're finished, it'll be the rest of the pile. If not, we'll put a sheet and a half on and just leave the last little bit open. But I mean, it's going to be really close. I just drove around what's left out here, and it's yeah, it's probably about 30 acres or so, which in theory is about 3 hours. So we'll do some filming of us covering the pile, or at least that was my plan anyways. Just wanted a quick run out here and look at this corn. I was here yesterday, but didn't really go very far into the field because they just started on this field yesterday morning. Just want to get a feel of this ground to see what we need to do here this fall. Try to get it in shape a little bit here. We are planning to haul some solid manure over here. We might bring liquid manure over here, not quite sure yet. We'll just have to see how the fall goes. But yeah, solid manure for sure will be spread on some of these acres out here this fall. The wagon's supposed to have extension on both sides, but we don't have the left side on here. We usually use it to haul manure around. I figured it wasn't worth the time for a day and a half of chopping to mess around with putting that on. So we take that off so we can reach it with the payloader and dump right in that wagon. You can see here when it's dumped, it's on the dry side. We're right around 40%. Put 3/4 of a sheet on here 2 days ago, Tuesday night, and in theory, if they get done, we should be able to close the pile up completely. That's my plan, hoping to get it all wrapped up here this evening, but we'll see how the day goes. Should I haven't calculated all the slips yet from the fields that are done, but I know I have a pretty decent idea of where we're at. So we should, in theory, have around 15,000 tons coming in. A little lower than I was expecting, but not totally out of line with what I thought. I knew that yields would be a little variable. Best field was around 22 tons that I have totaled up already. And our first field was around 16 tons. But we'll definitely have plenty of feed on hand. We had a lot of carryover from last year, so it should be in a pretty good spot. Not too concerned about that. I think we'll have a lot of feed on hand here when we're done. My plan is to put the drone in the air when we start covering this pile up, so that we'll put that in the video next here. It's a little breezy, but I think it's supposed to die down here by this afternoon. Winds were like 20 miles an hour when we put the sheet on here the other day. But we luckily had a lot of people available to help. We usually have the local wrestling club come out with as many kids as they have available, and some of the parents will come out and help too, and that makes a big difference. And we try to get as many of our guys to help. The more people you have, the better typically. A few days later here, probably about almost a week later. I didn't finish the video, so I thought I'd do that here quickly this afternoon. In our north freestall barn, these cows are just coming back from the parlor. You can see them up there coming out to eat. Just dropped a load of feed here this afternoon. These cows get top dressed with a little bit of feed in the afternoon. These high production cows, these are first, second lactation A2 cows here in these two pens actually. So if you guys remember, we had a company by the name of Silage. They sent us some silage plastic to use. So we're putting a sheet or a couple of sheets of that on our silage pile. So we put 2 sheets of plastic from last year that we had left over from last year on, and then the last 2 sheets were the Silage plastic. Silage Complete is the plastic that we put on. In theory, it's a one sheet system, so no oxygen barrier. So we did put an oxygen barrier on underneath the first couple of sheets of plastic. You'll see that in the drone footage you just watched. And then the last 2 sheets, there was a little bit of yellow of carryover, but we didn't put any yellow on the last little bit of section. So we used that on our first and second cutting haylage, and that worked really good. We didn't have any problems with spoilage, and I think I showed you guys that when we were into our first cutting haylage. We finished that pile and we haven't opened up second cutting yet. We're feeding a couple of lots of baleage at the moment, but just wanted you guys to know that if you're interested in that plastic, there's a link in the description. At some point when we start feeding from that pile, if I remember to do so, I'll show you guys what the silage looks like once we start feeding it. And also wanted to give a shout out to the Carrington Wrestling Club. They came out and helped us put the plastic on. We had a lot of kids show up, so that always makes it go a lot smoother. The more people you have, the better it goes. Seems like it's always windy in North Dakota, so it helps to have a lot of hands help hold that plastic down and lay tires out in an efficient manner. So didn't have anything else I wanted to add to the video. If you guys have questions, comments, you post them down below. Appreciate you guys watching, and glad and excited to be done with silage harvest for the year, and I will work on some field work and get some manure spread. Always a good feeling to be done with putting up feed for the year. We'll just focus on getting some things ready before winter. We've got some curtains to fix. Yeah, don't have any other major things we need to get done. The major things are getting the manure spreading, getting our curtains fixed and ready to go for the winter. So you'll probably see that in some of the videos coming up here. But anyways, appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one.